All right. Welcome to my lovely guest and my amazing audience across the globe. It is 56th episode. Slowly and gradually, we're gonna inch to 100. Well, my today's guest is one of my very good friends, Mani Kandan, or like we call him Mani. Hi, Mani. How are you doing?
I'm good, Amit. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming to the show and sharing your story. And let me talk about money and let me talk about a general situation. I've spoke about the being an introvert kids, being a shy kid a lot of time. During my shows we have guests, and what happens overall is that people generally are a little sensitive and they are very shy. They can't open up a lot. Now, Mani was born and brought up in a humble South Indian family. And being a shy and an introvert kid himself, oops, sorry about that, technical things. Being a shy and an introvert kid himself, he grew up being a very sensitive person. All right. Sensitive is a completely different word. And I'll let Mani talk about it later on that. Okay. So, an incident of getting into a relationship and breakup shattered his life, and he didn't know what exactly is going on with him. Not only that, it also impacts his family, his friends, and his close relatives. Right? He didn't knew what exactly to do. And now, Mani is an emotional well-being coach, and his passion is to help and transform individuals or children basically to become emotionally healthy and balanced so that they can lead a meaningful and fulfilled life, especially who've gone through tough relationship. Money is also a certified professional in this area. He also has his own podcast, which is called as 7 Easy Ways to Manage Any Overwhelming Situation in Life, where he talks about the emotional well being of people. He also has a book written, Seven. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. So the podcast name is Emotional People, and the book name is 7 Easy Ways to Manage Any Overwhelming Situation in Life. Apologies for that, Money. Uh, and he is on a mission now to impact 1 million children and make them a healthy, emotionally fit people. And that's precisely the title, is that we want to understand that do you want to raise a child which is emotionally handicapped? Now, handicap is a term that is sometimes taken in a very different and a difficult way. All right. So let me ask you, Money, before we jump on to how you can help the children and other things, let me just go back and dig a little grave from your own life. And I'm sorry, I'm going to hurt you a little probably, but let me just ask you what exactly happened and when was this time? What was your age and when was this time?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Amit. It's a great honor to be here on your stories that impact. You've been doing wonderful, and it's been 55 episodes. My pleasure to be as your 56th guest. So, yes, coming on to the story part, if you're asking what really happened in terms of my emotional challenge, I would say that's pretty much after I grew up. It was not in the childhood, nothing at the teenage, but like after that, after I got into a job, and like you mentioned in short about an incident about getting into a relationship, that was a life changing moment for me. I would say that was a time when I went through a relationship for the first time. Like everybody who has experienced love or that attraction or some with somebody for the first time, I was all in. I was all in, and to the best. I would say that would be the best part of my life, where it was literally like flying in the air, feet never on the ground, all those feelings, butterflies in the stomach, whatever you could say. So things were going good. Things went fine for about a good number amount of time. We made even the decision that okay, we are the ideal partners for each other, and let's move ahead in life together. But unfortunately, and even we went to the homes, we went to our respective homes and told our parents that yeah, we have found our life mates. To that extent we went, but then at one point of time things started to fall apart. uh, she being a little biased towards religion, astrology, and all those facts, she found out that we really can't go along together, and that would hamper our relationship, that would hamper our life, my life, and all such things. And I was not ready to accept those things, because for me it was, we didn't look at all these aspects when we got into a relationship or when we decided that we are going to be together. But she was clear that unless if there is any harm or anything going to happen, let's not uh, go ahead. And she was set back with multiple other things, even from her peers, from her parents, and because we belong to a different community and all that. So at that one point of time, she decided to move ahead and say, thank you, Mani. And there I was, not knowing what to do, completely shattered, completely shattered. Even today, when I recollect those days, I get goosebumps because I did not know what to do. And like you gave a little bit brief about my past, a shy introvert, not having many friends, not having people around whom to talk what. I grew up in that condition. So that's what my upbringing was. And now here I stand in life with a situation at hand, and I cannot go and share it with somebody. I didn't have anybody whom I can share it with. Neither can I go to parents because they were not completely in terms with the relationship. Neither I can go to any friends because there was nobody at that point whom I could, who was very close to and who was accessible to me, and I couldn't know how to handle. So I remember those days still, Amit, when I used to literally be awake late in the nights. In the mornings, it used to be just, I'm alive, I'm doing my things. I used to be working at that point. So I used to go to the job, I used to be working, and suddenly somebody talks something, somebody cracks something, joke or something in a group, and my eyes would literally flow. I used to be in tears. It has nothing to do with me, but I don't know what. I was not in that world. I was not, I was alive physically, but not mentally and emotionally. I was lost somewhere. Something was missing in me. So that's what changed, or that's what was a strong episode of my life, which made me realize that something is wrong. What have I missed? What is that I don't know? And this is not, I'm the first person this is happening with. It could have happened with many more. So that consciousness, that awareness, and all built in me, but it took a little bit of time. I would say not a little bit of time, it's close to about a decade till when I decided that, okay, wake up, go ahead in life. And then I move ahead, and ultimately everything happened in life. I got married with a wonderful lady, and I have a kid now, and then the journey continues. That's
Wow.
brief.
Wow. No, I can only imagine because I got married to my high school girlfriend. Okay, so now I can imagine if it would have been broken back then, I don't know what the hell would have happened. But yeah, it's not a, though I'm smiling, or it's not a matter of joke, because there are extreme steps sometimes people take, right? And I want to know that, in your state, because you were introvert, you were like that shy kid, I don't want to talk to anybody, or probably you don't have any some person whom you have that trustworthy relationship other than your parents in a way. So how, what was the thoughts like? Did you really thought, and I'm just asking this because a lot of people do that. Did you thought of like, okay, I'm gonna kill myself, sort of?
That was the last step which came to my mind. But before that, as usual, we have, growing up, we must have seen a lot of movies and all those things. So that first one was to get away from that. I acquired some bad habits, alcohol. These were the things which was there immediately to divert your attention. So it started off that way, being alone, not talking to people, not even just talking anything, just go do your work, come back. And then going within, deep within, and deep within, deep within. And I still remember there was a time at one point when I felt, what is the point of even living? What does it make sense? What is there more in life? You know, what is the purpose of me being here in this world, and when there is nobody around with me and I'm all alone? And that pain, when you experience, your brain totally shuts down. You don't know. You don't see anything. You don't see any possibilities in life. And today I'm talking this much, but had you met me 10, 12 years back, I would not be in this, totally in a different state. You would have seen a different face of money, or a different person in money. Um, Helpless, clueless. And yes, that thought did come to me at one point of time, wherein I felt there's no meaning to life. Why should I even live? That's the end.
No, no, what made you continue then?
Okay, so that went on. That feeling was there, but I would say definitely that this thought process started to change, or this thought process started to evolve when uh, when things started to shape up slowly and steadily. Because what I found was I started to divert myself. The first thing that got changed, luckily thanks to the god or universe, whatever power that was, I got a change of job at that point of time. I didn't even expect. That was the least expected. I shifted from the town or the place that I was to a different town, a different place. And the change of environment shook something apart because it was a new place. The same company, the same place, I was shifted to another location for whatever. I think that was the first help that came to me. And in the new environment, I had new people around, I had new things to learn, and then slowly the attention started diverting. So that was first. Then second, over the period of time, things at home started to change. At my home personally, like my dad was about to get close to his retirement. My sister was about to get married, and I'm the eldest son at my home. So then my attention started to divert in other things. Though this pain and this thing was still there in my heart, but the level and the intensity of it started to reduce. And I had to concentrate on other things. I had to look at other things, being the eldest son at home. So that made me to made a kind of diversion in my life, wherein I got to see other things. And gradually this thing I was like, okay, still the pain was there, it was not gone, it was still there deep in my heart. It's not possible, right? We are human beings. It's not one overnight you take something, you pluck it and throw it away, and then you forget everything. So that aspect was always there. But indeed, this is thing which helped me was that I could manage myself at that situation, and I could come out. And all the blessings to that power which was there with me. And then things slowly started to move. And I evolved myself. I would say I evolved myself. That one was one. And then I evolved through some practices which I learned later in a period of time. uh, I mean, consciously or subconsciously, I got into a few things which I could relate to. Maybe things like Vipassana at one point of time. Vipassana was one thing I could relate to, and I felt that was the awesome and an beautiful way of knowing oneself. More than meditation and all those things, it was about knowing oneself. What are you as a person? And other practices, maybe things like helping others. I went ahead and did a lot of volunteer work, a lot of work to serve other community members who are less privileged, and all these things started to bring about some change in me. It started to shift my thought process. Like, I must be some more privileged than what I actually thought I was. There must be some more meaning to my life. There must be something more that I can do in this life than just thinking that this is an end. And that thought process gradually shifted and transformed me. And today, as we speak, here I am, wherein I want to help people who are going through such emotional trauma. Not as people when you grow up and things like that. Definitely when you grow up you experience all those things, people can. But what about those childhood days, when if a kid or a children can be at that stage groomed, taught the right values, taught the right mindset, taught the right way to handle their emotions, they could
True.
definitely grow up and handle any situations. Not about this particular situation, this is one that happened with me, but how about them handling any situations that they face in life? Maybe relationship, maybe job, maybe another friend, whatever they do, emotional turmoil is bound to happen. What they can be emotionally fit, that's my mission. If they can be emotionally fit, they can handle anything in their life. So that's where I want to take them to.
Great, great, wonderful. So, so basically, I mean, one of the things that helped you was, like you said, of course, distractions did help you in a way at that time, right? Uh,
Yes.
and of course, there's a lot of things that you learned. Now tell me, like you spoke about Vipassana, and we also know that. So first, tell me and my audience, you're certified professional, right? In what area now?
In the area of emotional intelligence.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Emotional
So,
intelligence.
so now share with us. So let's say, for example, okay, now I'm gonna just ask you some just scenarios. Okay. So it helps us to, let my audience know better that, how you can help them in a way, right? Or what exactly do you do, right? So let's say, for example, first tell me that, how do you think a parent should now take care of their child in an emotionally way, so that the child doesn't become emotional handicap? Or first, sorry, tell me what exactly is emotionally handicap means, because my
Good
audience
question.
would first like to know that word handicap. People hate it many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. In a way, it's not right. Also, like you rightly said, to call it handicap. Let's call emotionally challenged. Like they say, physically challenged instead of handicap challenged. The instead of handicap, the word better to use is challenged. So when we talk about, let's say, physically challenged, what do we mean? Physically challenged could be due to, when we compare it in that way, it could be due to different reasons, right? It could be due to birth, it could be due to an accident, or it could be due to some medical conditions, whatever be it. By any of these reasons, somebody could be physically challenged, like by birth or whatever reasons. Similarly, if you take in the case of emotions, uh, things like somebody not able to handle situations in life, we can even call it mentally crippled, or somebody feeling weak, or getting hurt in small situations, not being able to manage simple problems in life. I see that. I'll talk about that later. Small things in life due to which they crumble down like ice flakes. Small tough situations life throws up. No. Oh, kids. Oh man, these days. So that is what I mean by emotionally challenged or emotionally handicapped, wherein you have the power within you, but you don't know how to handle. Like a handicapped person cannot do activities like a normal person. Like somebody not having a hand, for example, or not having a proper functioning of hand, cannot lift, cannot move around so easily with their like other people do. Similarly, you being an emotionally challenged or person cannot handle things in life, what the life throws upon you. Every day is a challenge. Every day is, you could have situations in your life, and everybody's circumstances are different. How do you really come up to handle those things? How do you develop yourself mentally and emotionally to handle in your life? And that's what is being, not being emotionally handicapped and being emotionally fit.
Sorry, I was on
Does
mute.
that help? Yeah.
Wow, no, you are absolutely right, because I can imagine, and it happens that sometimes we go through certain things, and like you said, small problem and you just scattered, right, like snowflakes. And I also understand that, with for some reason, children of the current generation, whatever way, are little difficult to manage. Okay, like for example, my son, so he's very young, but sometimes certain things just break him down. Like for example, he cannot take criticism in a proper manner, or he'll not open up, and so on. So my question to you is that, how do you, let's say if somebody comes to you, what are the exact problems that you can help them to resolve, and how do you do that basically? Is there any method that you put across, and what exactly it is?
Yeah. Thanks for that, Amit. So there are two aspects to this. The question that you asked can be divided into two aspects. One, which you said, as we grow up our children definitely have a lot of behaviors that they exhibit. Maybe in terms of showing tantrums, maybe in terms of uh, means I want this, meaning I want this. Maybe stuck to those things or irritating parents. All this, but these and all comes into the same area, but comes under the area of parenting. Like a parenting coach, for example, helps you in terms of how to handle such kids. How do you make a kid understand what you want to convey? So my thing is a blend of this sense of parenting as well as emotional well-being, because I work in the area of kids. Again, basically, parents also should understand that, and this is a blend of emotions plus parenting. So what really I do, to be more specific on what I help with, let's say we are not concentrating on the day-to-day life of kid. In the meaning, I don't say that okay, if your kid shows tantrums, you should do this. I know what is to be done because I'm also a certified parenting coach. So I know what you need to do in terms of parenting, because upbringing kids is not that easy. And you being a father and me being a father, we know it very well that these days kids are, they have so much of things that they can show their tantrums, they can get annoyed at everything. Okay, but what I concentrate on is to the other aspect. Let's say for example your kid is stressed. These days you see this very common for small things. Maybe an exam is coming up, maybe a thing is somebody, your friend is doing well, or something good is happening which you are not able to do, and their mindset is not getting up to that wireframe. Okay, fine, okay, this exam is not the end of my life, or maybe something is happening in my life, my parents are not able to do it for me, doesn't mean that I'm less privileged or I don't have that. So this more towards the mindset part. So that's where I come in picture. And this I imbibe in the kids, definitely. Kids meaning not so small kids as well, people who can, kids who can understand, maybe somebody above 5 years of age, kids and children above 5 years of age till about their teenagers. If we can imbibe the right value system in them, the right mindset that they have to develop at this age, by understanding and following certain things which we as adults follow. Maybe for example, one thing which I often stress upon is the principle of gratitude. Kids, children are never taught about this. To be frank, we as parents, our first thing is, we have come through a small upbringing, but we don't want our kids to experience any tough situations in life. And indirectly, what we do, we give them everything. We want them to experience the best of everything. We give them, before they even ask, we have things in front of them. So that's how in general parents treat their kids, which is good, which is definitely good. But the side effect of that is, kids don't know what the pain is, kids don't know what the reality is, kids don't know what is the hardship is. And let's say, forbid, tomorrow, once they are in their own legs and they don't get such and such things, comfort, which they have to do it for themselves because parents are not there for them for the entire life. Now what do they do? And they stand facing the world where everything you have to do by yourself, and they don't know what to do because everything is not there. You're out of your home, no comfort. You need to maybe share a PG, or maybe you have to live with somebody. You will not have proper facilities. You don't have all the comforts that you got in home, and you are not able to handle those things. And then you get into the corporate world. It's not easy. Here, parents have pampered you so much. There, you see the hardships. Your boss shouts at you. Your people, like, how do you handle those situations? And you get crumbled. Like we said, people don't know at that point what to do. There, that should not happen. That's my thing. When they go out, this should not happen. They should know, despite me getting all these things, what are the things that I can be grateful about? What are the things that I need to imbibe in my life, that I need to know, okay, today I'm getting these things, but despite that, if I have to continue, I need to put in my work. I need to put in my hardship. Then I can enjoy this for the rest of the life, and not expect that my parents would be there with me and give me these things for my entire life.
Very, 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 very apt. Okay. Like, you absolutely correct. Like, nowadays, you have smaller families, and you got more money in a way, and people want to give their best. I agree. And yes, children are definitely gonna have a certain level of challenge. I completely agree. Now, my question in my head, and because I am a parent, and it just struck me. You hit
Yeah.
the right chord in my head, and I'm sure in my guests as well. Is that, how do you do that? So, like, gratitude. Let's take just one example. Okay. So tell me, and tell my viewers as well. Is that, how do you implement something like this, and what's the right sort of a age to start with?
Okay. So let's go from the reverse side. So the exact age I would think start with is from 5 years of age. 5 years could be good age to start off with for any kid, because by then they start understanding, they start the brain starts developing, they starts communicating, they start to understand things, what is happening around. 5 plus, 5, 6 could be a early stage. But again, kids to kids, it changes. Some kids start talking at a later age. Instead of 2 years, they start their talk speech and everything 4 years. But ideally, I think 5 years could be an ideal age to start off with. And how do I implement this? Good. So there, we start this in a small way. Like, what I do is, basically, I have multiple sessions. I have my programs which are spread across. For parents, that's a different set, and for kids. So in the kids level of program, when it's not a 1 day process, it's not a 1 week process, it could span over for a month. So I have some rituals which I make kids understand and handhold them to practice, which is like, taking this example of gratitude. In the morning, when I have these sessions with the kids, I tell them, okay, now close your eyes and sit and then think. Because this is, we cannot tell them be grateful, be gratitude, they won't understand. It's just small minds. So tell them that what all things that you have. For example, you may have a lot of toys. You may be studying and going to a good school. You talk those kids language. What are your parents are good, well to do, which is good. Now think for a moment what so many of the other friends or your people around don't have. Haven't you seen people living in that small houses, in that Chopatpatti and all, wherein they don't have even these things, isn't it? So shouldn't you be thankful that you are having these things? Which is a small mind can understand. And I said, yes, yes. So thank you. So say thanks for what you have in life. So this may be one small part of what I say. So when you keep doing this thing multiple times over time, they get whatever they getting in life from their parents, from their everything. They feel good about it. They start to value it. They start to respect it. Today many people tell, oh, this kid don't understand the value of, after giving everything, parents themselves say, my kid is not understanding the value of these things. They don't respect the teachers. They don't respect elders. They will, but if you can you don't know the right way to teach them. How do you expect that all of a sudden one fine morning they do that? Like when parents come to me in this front, I blame the parents. I have gone through those situations. When somebody says my kids get angry for small reasons, I don't know what to do. I said, do you know how to manage when you get angry? Okay, do you know how to manage your situation? You don't know. And why do you blame the kid? Why do you blame the children? If you know, you can teach the kid, right? And that's where the problem is. Somewhere that gap has come, wherein that right values or right system is not being imbibed into the kid's brain right from childhood. And then blaming the kid at later point of time, or seeing, and for that matter, even when the kids face hardships, the first people to feel bad are the parents. When the kids go out and they face something and they are like shattered, the first people who will feel bad and pain more than the kids is their parents.
True.
And that should not happen, neither with the parent, not with the kid. So how do you imbibe these things right from childhood? Since you asked about gratitude, I said in small. So these things, instead of telling them be grateful, be gratitude, they will not even know. Maybe an elder brain can understand it. But for kids, talk it in their language, put it in their language so that they can understand what all they have in life and they should be blessed for what they have. Something in those lines, Amit.
Wonderful, wonderful. Honestly, even the elders don't know. I can assure you that there's so many people who are not even grateful for their bloody life. So
True.
let's not expect anyone. That's a very good thing. So you actually gave an example, uh, and how exactly a child can be. How you can teach these wonderful things in your child's head so that they are grateful, and when, of course, when the time comes, they'll also understand that, yes, I'm very thankful to my parents, to the universe and all, and they'll also value things eventually. So that's really, really valid and very good. Thank you very much for that example. And of course, it's just one of the teeny tiny things that you have in your whole. We can't have, like, I can't, if I have to sit with Mani and go through each and every aspect of what he does, we might take like hours and hours and days eventually. Okay. And for the same reason, you gotta make sure that, so I've added Mani's link tree. That's a link where you can click and get all the information where and how you can connect with Mani. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that Mani is going to accept, whenever he gets time from his schedule, he's going to respond back to you for every doubt that you have on how you can raise your child emotionally well. Okay. So do that. I'll also make sure that it's pasted again in the comments now, in like few minutes. Now,
Thank you, Amit.
so, yeah, no. Thanks for sharing that, Mani. You're doing a thing that impacts people, so nothing like that. So now, Mani, let's just touch base on the fact that So now so how do you? What's exactly? Can you share us about your program, if it's okay with you? Like what exactly the program is, and how it's for the child, how it's for the adults, and the duration, and what all aspects do you cover, and what would be an outcome for that?
Hmm. Okay. I don't think it's a self promotion, but I would just like to give a high level glimpse of what is it all about, the programs and all, so that at least the listening audience can understand and then get take the benefit of it. For the adults, Amit, I have something called a Better Your Emotions program. Okay, so that's like a kind of a master class, and that's specifically adult oriented, wherein parents, that's what where I look for, parents to teach them these things which you pointed out right now. Adults themselves don't know what it is to be grateful, and people who know. And there is one more thing which I'm seeing that is missing. People might know so many things. When I teach about things, these are simple concepts. When I tell you, you need to be grateful, you need to understand what is forgiveness, this is what is sometimes holding you back, and all those things, I know this. But then the problem is again coming from that famous quote which I've heard, that knowing and not doing is not knowing, right? You might tell, you might know 101 things, but are you really implementing it in your life? Because that is what is going to give you results. If you say you know everything, you might have got the result by then. You must have known how to practice, and you must have taught your kids. So my first aim through this program, or this masterclass, Better Your Emotions masterclass, is to teach adults, is to imbibe these things in the adults so that they can transfer it to their children. Because parents are the best teachers for the kid. That's what I believe. If parents know the right way of doing, practicing things, they can teach their kids. So that's my first effort in this line. Through parents, teach the parents so that they teach their kid. Imbibe the principle right ways in parents through my masterclass, which runs for about 4 weeks. That's a 4 week masterclass wherein there are a set of things like we even spoke about gratitude. There's other consciousness level. I speak about how brains work, how what is the connections between physical well-being and emotional well-being. It is not just to do with emotions. Your physical nature, your physical fitness also relates to your emotions. You cannot say I am sad, or I'm sorry, you're not good at one day, your body is paining, and you can say I'm very happy. It is not possible. There's a direct correlation between this. So for adults, I explain all these things in my program. What is the science behind? What are the chemicals that get released when you feel happy, when you feel sad? You know, the dopamine, serotonin, all those logic. So all those things which an adult people can understand, I explain all these things in that 4 week, and also handhold them and try to implement them along with that, so that they learn, they benefit, they teach the kids. That's the one level of my aspect of taking. The next one is directly to the kids. When parents say that I am busy and I don't have time, or somebody is that way, then is my other level of thing which I directly have for the kids, which is starting with something like a morning rituals, you can call, wherein I have kids and I teach them how do they practice it. The like the same example that I told earlier, wherein I handhold, like I have a session, kids come in, and then I talk to the kids in the kids language. These things are things you can be grateful about. You should be thankful for this, and those terms wherein I directly interact with the kids, and I teach the kids this other thing. So it's like a kind of a 1 hour program every day. Every day. There's no Saturdays, there's no Sundays. You can come, you can join, you can learn. You need to practice along with me. Like I'm the teacher, you are practicing with me along with the kids. That's the other level. So these two are the primary focus when try to, one of the key focus I can say, I attack to the kids and give the knowledge. Other than this, there are a lot of other stuff which anybody can access, like our content, your videos and podcasts, my podcast, the emotional people, the books, ebooks, all this way which we can spread this message, wherein I can reach out to more and more people. I keep doing that because that's what gives me a kind of feeling that I'm here to do something, you know. So that's all about.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a well planned and well thought through program, and I'm sure because I know personally, I know you personally, okay, and I know for the fact that how self-centered and calm you are, when it comes to when there's any difficult situation or there's a conflict in a way, right? And I personally have experienced how Money handles conflicts, and how he makes sure that it's not only he being calm, it's actually he being calm also spreads and rubs to others, and everyone eventually tried to get into the same place. So I can only imagine that your whole program is going to be very, very interesting. Now oh, we are almost like 35 minutes. It's always like that. Never I realize
Yes.
time always passes by. Now, I have also put the link there. It's going to be there till the end, so that anyone who wants to, grab it. And also, it's also there in the all the messages that on all the platforms, that's LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So with the introduction, so make sure to click on it and book a call, or I think Money, you have options like that, right? Where people can at
Yes.
least come and get in touch with you.
Yes, definitely. There is a link to book a discovery call. There is a link to all my social media profiles. There is a link to the podcast. There is a link to everything, all that. The book, everything is there in that link. One link.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Great. So now, Mani, we are almost at the tail end, and this is one common question that I always ask to all my guests. Okay. And the question is that, do you think that sharing stories can impact?
Oh man, there is no second thought about it, Amit. I would 110% agree that sharing stories would impact, because what drives me today after me sharing my part of story is my story, my pain, what I went through. Because my story, I thought was had no meaning, right? At one point of time, my thought was that this story, why it happened to me, why I had to go through all these struggles, why I had to face that pain. But then later I realized that I had to face that pain because I don't want anybody else to face that pain. And my story is what pushes me to move ahead. If today I'm doing all these things, it is not for no reason. The only reason which pushes me every day when I wake up in the morning is my story. And that's powerful. And that is the power of your story. It's not any story. Your story is so very powerful. It can drive you to any crazy extent. You can go to any level. There is no limit to it. When you suffer something, when you have experienced that, it no more becomes anything that you have heard from somebody. It's your story, and your story is definitely powerful. So I totally agree that stories are the one who change, and stories are the one that can create an impact.
Lovely, lovely. Absolutely right. Knowing a personal story, knowing your story, yeah, when you went through it, when you realized it, and now you're there so that you can help others so that they don't go through the same problems or shit in a way that you went through, right, during your times. So lovely, lovely. So with that, we're at the end of the show, and before I pass on to Mani for his last comments on his topic and what he wants to talk to all of you lovely guests, if you want to connect with me and be on this show, all you have to do is just ping me. And do not forget to connect with the link tree that is mentioned here with Mani and understand what exactly he does. Go through his book, get through the discovery session if you want to. I'm sure you would have kids. You might have seen some other children whom you think are too much either pampered or spoiled or need some guidance that can make their life better, eventually making the parents' life better and happier. And there is just one comment that I've got now. Let me share. It's Harish. WH. I think Harish, I think you might have to type the whole thing again. I am very bad at abbreviations. Okay, I'm an old school guy.
I think maybe something he typed and it left halfway
Yeah.
in W, where or what or something like that.
Yeah.
Again,
So Harish, here,
again.
here is the link in case if that's the thing. That's the link again. I'm just sharing it here. And meanwhile, I'll again pass it on to. So thank you, Mani, once again for coming and blessing the show. It was a
My
pleasure.
privilege.
And I hope to see you on my show once again in probably 2022. It's 2021, right? Yeah, I keep forgetting it. And Hari says thanks for sharing. Yep, no
Thank you,
worries.
Alish. Thank you.
Fantastic. So over to you, Mani. Any last words that you want to share with the guests here, with the audience? I'm sorry.
Yes. The last word is for, I mean, equally applicable to parents, equally applicable to kids, their kids, children, everybody. This is a very good thought that parents have always, that we need to give our best. We need to give our best in terms of materials, in terms of things, in terms of facilities, everything these days. Because economically things have grown, things have changed. That is there with most of the middle class or higher middle class or upper middle class parents, you can say. But with all these things, what they forget is the aspect of how to make the child also mentally and emotionally capable and fit, and give them the best in that area as well, not just in terms of materialistic things, in terms of this aspects also. So pay attention to that at this point of time when the kid grows, because you are the best guides, you are the best teachers. And if you don't pay attention at this age, things might be different when they grow up. And at that point, there is no use in blaming someone else for having grown up such an adult, or having grown up a weak, mentally weak and emotionally weak teenager or a adult, rather than yourself. So spend time, learn things, and help your kids along with all that you give, all that you pamper, also to be emotionally fit. That's all I want to share. Thank you, Amit.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mani. And thank you to all the lovely audiences. Stay connected with Mani, stay connected with me. And thank you very much for watching the show. Mani, once again, thank you. And God bless you. And may you not even touch a million, touch a billion lives with and impact all the future generations so that we have a better planet to live on to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you very much.